Pit bulls. I did my speech over pit bulls. The reason I chose pit bulls is because many people think that pit bulls are vicious, mean, or they should be feared dogs. And I think that this is incorrect because pit bulls are actually really sweet. They just need to be raised properly because the pit bulls that I have seen in my life have been really sweet and they acted like big babies. Pit bulls are loving, and the only reason that they act mean is because people usually get them for dog fights. They abuse them, they neglect them, or it's just because they want a guard dog, which I think is wrong. If you want a pit bull, you should get them for a pet to be loved or as a companion. These pit bulls, they should be treated right. They are not a threat to anyone. They just want to love people and they are very loyal to their owner. On petfinder.com, there was somebody that commented on the article that they look dangerous and they did not look innocent. And this is stereotyping one because they didn't even give the people a chance to even to see them. And also for my second main point, I would say that they were vicious because of dog fights. Every year, millions and millions of pit bulls are only bought and breeded just to put them in dog fights just so they can make money. And 1.2 million of those pit bulls die every year just from dog fighting. And then once they are done with the dog fighting, they get tired of them and they're weak, so they just put them into shelters. And 500,000 are killed in shelters because nobody wants them because they're mean and they got abused so much that they don't know how to love anymore. And people don't want to give pit bulls that look mean, that already stereotype, a chance. And then for my third main point, abuse. Pit bulls are abused. There's many pit bulls that are abused, and just like many other pit bulls or dogs, whenever they're abused, they close themselves out. They are too scared of humans. They are overprotective over themselves. They just want to protect themselves and make sure they don't get hurt anymore. And pit bulls are big dogs, so obviously they're gonna have a little more power to hurt a human. And once they hurt a human, they get put down, and that's another reason why they die. This is why humans, if they choose to get a pit bull, it should be for the right reasons, and it shouldn't be just to make them get abused for a guard dog or anything like that. On PETA.org, there was this dog. His name was Rocky. He was abused because he was only for a guard dog. They would keep him outside day and night, and no matter the weather, if it was rainy, hailing outside, it was snowing, they would keep him outside. And then once somebody finally noticed and got him to a right home, he was really damaged and he was just too overprotecting over himself. And then on petfinder.com, the writer stated that there truly aren't any bad dogs, there are only bad people. And I agree with this because that is correct, because the pit bulls, they grow up, they just want to love somebody and they just want they would just want to be loyal to their owner. And bad people get pit bulls and then they just raise them to fight, and that's all they know how to do. They don't learn how to love and be kind and how to be gentle to people. Because if you raise a pit bull right, then they'll love your family, they'll know how to be gentle. They are very, very loyal creatures. You just have to teach them what's right and what's wrong. Pit bulls are loving, and as long as you raise them correctly, as I have said multiple times, because this is what makes them just good pets and what makes them actually know what's right from wrong. And abuse and dog fights, as I've said, is a reason why, like one of the main reasons why pit bulls are stereotyped to be bad dogs, vicious, feared, and why people think that these are like a symbol of violence and drugs. So today for my three main points about pit bulls, I went over how dogs are loving, how how dog fights are the reason why they are mean, and then also abuse and neglection. So I also presented a presentation, and then these are pit bulls. These are reasons. This is how people see pit bulls. They think that they're scary, and just by seeing this, they get scared and they just don't want to get them, and they just think they're bad dogs, and they don't even want to give them a chance to actually show their loving and how loyal they are. Whenever they see these dogs, they just want to walk away. This is why in some cities they are not accepted. They will not let you have a dog in some cities because they think that they are vicious dogs, and whenever they take them for walks, they had to wear like this one gear over their mouth. See? But I think that dogs are. Wait, what is it acting up? There's many more, but it's just not letting me do it. But I think that these pit bulls are loving. You just really have to know how to care for them. And just because they're big dogs doesn't mean that they are mean. And just because they look mean and scary does not mean they have to be mean dogs. Like you guys probably are always heard, don't judge a book by its cover. These dogs are highly misunderstood, and you just need to give people a chance to show them their love and affection. Thank you for listening to my speech. Don't